Alright folks, welcome back to the channel. Today's a bit of repair work. I damaged the front wheel. If you can see, there's a little damage here, and unfortunately that's not holding air, and so I do have a new wheel. I bought that. This is a forged aluminum wheel, and I have a new forged aluminum wheel right here. This is for a 2023 BMW S1000RR with the M package. The wheel for an M package is slightly different because the brake rotor, also known as the brake disc, it has 6 fastening screws, and that's only with the M package. If you don't have the M package, it probably has just 5 tightening screws and 5 holes, and so that's a different wheel. Okay, so this wheel is for the 2023 S1000RR with the M package and with the forged aluminum wheels. And first lesson that I learned the hard way is that these suckers are very, very sensitive, so you've got to be extra careful when you're changing tires. I don't even know when this happened, but at some point I must have used the tire lever, I guess, and put some pressure on this the wrong way. Looks like it must have happened when I was taking out the lower lip of the tire. But anyway, my task right now is to remove the brake rotor and then put it on the new wheel, and then remove the brake rotor on the other side, put it on the new wheel. And then it also has a speed ring, or the speed sensor, so that also has to be removed and put on the new wheel. I don't know if these screws can be used or reused, but I went ahead and bought 6 of these for this side and then 6 of these on the other side. So I bought 12 of these screws, and then I also bought, I think, 3 screws to fasten the speed ring. So once I flip the wheel over, I'll confirm that. But my job now is to remove these 6 bolts, and then remove the brake rotor, the brake disc, and then fasten them onto the new wheel. So let's get on with it. So one thing you might be wondering is it possible to fix this bend on the rim? And I made a couple of phone calls to tire guys, to wheel guys, and I just mostly struck out because people don't want to repair a motorcycle wheel. But then finally I found someone who said he could do it. So I probably will be taking this wheel to that guy and see if he can do it, and if he does a good job, I'll certainly post a review. He did say that he's going to have to take out the bearings and before he can fix the wheel, and so I'll have to order a new set of bearings for this wheel, but that would be worth it if you can get this thing done. Now, sometimes you have a small bend in the wheel and it's holding air. So if it's holding air, you're probably okay. But like I said, this thing is not holding air. I tried it like 2, maybe 3 times, and it was just, the tires became flat. So I know this is, the bead is not seating, and so we have to go ahead and fix this. All right, so we're gonna remove these 6 screws. I have the replacement screws right here, and they are tightened diagonally, so I'm going to remove them diagonally. And I have a T40. Okay, these bolts have already been loosened and they're coming out pretty easily. They're only torqued to about 19 Newton meters. They're supposed to have Loctite, but I don't see any Loctite on the bolts. Okay, so once the bolts are removed, they should come right out. And that's the brake disc. Now I'm going to flip the wheel over and do the same thing for the other side. All right, so to remove the brake disc on the left-hand side, the right is left, you have to first remove this speed ring of the sensor ring. And the speed ring of the sensor ring is fastened to the wheel with 3 Torx 25 bolts, and so those need to be removed. The sensor ring comes off. That then gives you access to the bolts that that fasten the brake disc to the wheel. So let's go ahead and take out the sensor ring. Okay, so once you remove those 3 screws, this thing comes right out. And we'll lay this down here. And then you have access to these 6 bolts to remove the brake disc. All right, so that takes care of those 6 bolts, and out comes the brake disc. All right, another thing that needs to be done from the old wheel to the new wheel is the tire pressure monitor, or the tire sensor. So I think you can buy it just a regular valve stem, but this one has a tire pressure monitor. And even though I switch it off because I only ride this bike on the track, I want to go ahead and transfer this part over to the new wheel. Sensor has already been paired with my bike, and so it should be a pretty simple process. I'm going to use a T40 and loosen this up. It should pop right out, and I'll transfer this over to the new wheel. All right, now I have the new wheel on my tire changer. I've clamped it down, and I'm going to use those 6 bolts, and my reading is that they get torqued down to 19 Newton meters. So for each of those screws, I'm going to put a little bit of Loctite and then torque it to 19 Newton meters. And then we'll flip it over and do the other side. To thread them in to make sure that they're not cross-threaded anywhere. And then I'll come back and tighten them down. So handy dandy Wira Tools torque wrench. So I'm going to tighten these down to 19 Newton meters and then get back. All right, so this side is done. We'll flip it over and do the other side. All right, so the brake disc and the sensor ring, or the speed ring, has been installed. And these are T25 Torx bolts, and they're torqued down to only 5 Newton meters, so don't go crazy on that. And so the last thing I need to do is install the valve stem slash tire pressure monitor, and then we should be good to mount the tire, fill it up, and hopefully that will be the end of this saga. All right, so this tire pressure monitor gets mounted to the wheel, and the torque is only 6 Newton meters, so again, don't go crazy. There is a rubber washer here, and you need that to get a good seal. So if you over tighten it, you're going to damage that washer. Right, so as far as I can tell, this has been a successful transplant of the brake disc and the sensor ring from the old wheel to the new wheel. As far as I can tell, it's holding air. I'm going to see if the wheels are balanced. It's brand new, it hasn't got any weights, so but other than that, it looks like it's going to be in pretty good shape. Oh wow, this thing is already perfectly balanced. Nice. Nice. Didn't have to do anything except just match this red dot with the valve stem. And that seems to have done the trick.
Thank you.